Two men became pope because of a bank account. Not because of faith, not because of armies. Because a family in Florence had figured out how to move money invisibly across borders, charge interest without technically charging interest, and keep books so precise that no one could accuse them of anything. The Catholic Church wasn't conquered, it was financed, and the people who did it started out selling wool. This is Money Origins, where we trace how financial systems that shape your world today were actually built, usually by people history forgot to make famous. By the end of this, you'll understand not just who the Medici were, but why the accounting system sitting inside every company on Earth right now, Apple, your corner shop, every hedge fund in existence, traces directly back to one family's need to hide a profit. And we'll get to the part that almost nobody talks about, what they actually bought with all of it. The Medici didn't start as bankers. In the late 1300s, they were textile merchants, respectable, moderately successful, thoroughly unremarkable. Florence at that time was already a financial center, but the real money was locked behind a wall that nobody could legally cross: the church's prohibition on usury. Charging interest on a loan was a sin. In practice, it was also a crime. So if you wanted to lend money and profit from it, you had a problem. The Medici solved it with language. Instead of a loan with interest, they offered a currency exchange with a fee. You deposit florins in Florence, they issue you a letter of credit, a lettera di cambio, redeemable in ducats in Venice, or francs in Lyon, or sterling in London. The exchange rate built in the margin. The profit was real. The sin, technically, wasn't. This instrument, the bill of exchange, was essentially the world's first international wire transfer, and the Medici ran the network. By 1397, Giovanni di Bicci de' Medici had formalized what became the Medici Bank, with branches in Rome, Venice, Geneva, Bruges, and London. Not a single location, a system. What made the Medici genuinely different wasn't ambition. Half of Florence was ambitious. What made them untouchable was a method: double-entry bookkeeping. Every transaction recorded twice, once as a debit, once as a credit. The ledger had to balance. If it didn't, something was wrong, and you could find exactly where. For the first time in history, a business could know with precision whether it was solvent. It could spot fraud. It could manage risk across multiple branches simultaneously. The Medici Bank ran what was, for its era, a multinational corporation, and this system was the operating code. Cosimo de' Medici understood that the ledger gave him something more powerful than gold. It gave him clarity when everyone else was guessing. He used that clarity to do things that confused his rivals. He funded Brunelleschi's dome, the engineering marvel that defined Florence's skyline and still stands. He commissioned Donatello. He built libraries, botanical gardens, a network of scholars. This wasn't charity, it was positioning. Cosimo ran Florence without holding a single official government title. The city's elected councils made the decisions. Cosimo made the councils. His grandson Lorenzo, called Il Magnifico, the Magnificent, refined this further. Lorenzo de' Medici never held a formal office either. He was, in every real sense, the ruler of Florence, because every institution that mattered owed the Medici something. Two members of the family became pope. One of them, Leo X, famously said upon his election, "God has given us the papacy. Now let us enjoy it." That is not the sentence of a man who got there through prayer. Here's where I want to leave you. The Medici family didn't survive forever. The bank collapsed in the late 1400s, overextended, politically exposed, undone partly by bad loans to English kings who never repaid them. The dynasty faded. Florence moved on. But the machine they built never stopped running. Double-entry bookkeeping, that system of debits and credits, of balanced ledgers and traceable transactions, is not a historical artifact. It is the accounting standard used by every public company on Earth right now. The Financial Accounting Standards Board, the International Financial Reporting Standards, the balance sheet your local restaurant files with its accountant, all of it descends, structurally, from what a Florentine wool merchant's family formalized 600 years ago because they needed to hide a profit margin inside a currency fee. They started as accountants. They ended up owning the church, funding the Renaissance, and writing the rules that global capitalism still runs on. Worth saying, the history here is well documented, but historians still debate exact causality on some of these developments. The Medici popularized and systematized practices that were emerging across Italy at the time. That nuance matters. They didn't invent the world alone, they just understood it better than anyone else. If this one stayed with you, subscribe to Money Origins. There's more here on the dynasties and systems that quietly built the financial world most people take for granted. And if it earned a like, that genuinely helps more people find it.